starting as gypsies, there were none, but then some guys started to brew as well as gypsies. So yeah, but then the second wave came when we opened our own brewery, and it all kind of exploded.
Right. And well, we have, I mean, you sent over a big range of beers. You obviously, did you start off with like the typical IPAs and then slowly branch out, or is it?
Yeah, one thing I did was to get the theoretical background. I was reading a lot before I brew any beers, like half a year. I just kept reading books and articles and forums. So I knew what I'm doing when I'm brewing the first batch. And I started with classic styles to get the basics right. And then started building my own recipes and started experimenting and with some freaky ingredients, and so it got a bit wider. But I started with classic styles like pale ales, porters, brown ales, stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. And yeah, let's open one. Do you have any here that you think?
Let's start with one lower ABV. Maybe the tropical candy, the sour beer with fruits.
Which one is that?
Tropical candy. It has this.
Oh yeah, I find it.
House on the label with the grass.
Yeah. So yeah, okay. Is this like typical of what you do, or is it?
No, this is completely different. It's not a typical Berliner Weiss. We call it Florida Weiss because of the heavy load of fruits it has in. And this one, we use mango and passion fruit. And the fruit purees are not fermented. We add them to the bright tank. So it's really, really fruity, like a smoothie. And it's one of those beers that when someone tells you they don't like beer, then you grab this and say, try this. Doesn't taste like a beer, but it's technically still a beer. And it has lower acidity because all the fruit purees that are unfermented.
Okay.
What kind of hops are you using here?
We whirlpool with a tiny bit of Citra.
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Something like 7 to 8 IBUs. Yeah.
Okay, and yeah, I see it. You've got lactose in there as well.
Yes, this one has lactose for the creaminess and the smoothiness.
Here in Germany, we do have a mix that is Sprite and beer, kind of called Radler. I don't know if
Radler,
you have. Yeah, of course, there is nothing to do because this is mango. That one is completely different. But the feeling of like easy drink reminds me that it is a really easy beer to drink.
But we start this one out as a typical Berliner Weiss or kettle soured beer. And,
okay, so it's in the range of 3.8 pH or something.
3.5, yeah, something like that. Originally, but the fruits, especially mango, raises the pH a bit. So
okay,
it's not so acidic as our other Goses and Berliners.
Oh, interesting beer.
Yeah. And I heard you all talking there beforehand, so I meant to bring up the cans. You were all talking backstage. You were getting plenty of compliments about the artwork.
Yeah, we're quite proud of the designer we have. She makes all the label pictures for us. So yeah.
Yeah, if anybody hasn't seen it, there are some really almost I don't know, kind of surreal sort of, I suppose, you know.
Yeah, she has his own style.
Yeah, they're really nice. And are you doing all your cans in 33 CLs or?
Yes, that was the decision we made. We might do bigger cans, but for now we do the smaller ones.
Okay, and is that you export a lot, do you?
We do, yeah. Around 60% of our production goes.
Yeah, because I remember we had Pühaste was on a few weeks ago, and he was saying that the market basically isn't big enough in Estonia. They have to export. You have to go export from the start.
Yeah, if you don't export, you will have a hard time in Estonia, I would say.
Yeah, and but yeah. So is there? I mean, it's not that small a population. It's what, about 2 million?
No, 1.2, 1.3,
Wow.
something like that.
Okay, it's not enough to support all the breweries.
Yeah.
So what about the rest of you? I mean, Fernando. Let me introduce. Actually, Fernando is from Skinny Bones. He's started. You're kind of on the start of the journey. You've just started.
I started about when the Corona wave hit it. I was doing a internship. So the thing is, I'm homebrewing for like 3 years, and then I won a beer competition here in Germany, and then that really triggered me to go forward, to continue doing this thing. And I found a internship here somewhere in a brewpub. And then I was there for 6 months already, trying to go forward, learning, and then Corona came. So I had two options. I had or stop to what I was doing, studying and developing as a brewer, or do gypsy brewer. And then I picked 3 of my best recipes, one that I won as well. And then I start my own business. And there's a small brewery here in Berlin, or there was. They closed because of Corona, and they allowed me to brew my own beer there. Even as a gyps, I could brew my own beer because it was a pilot system, a hectoliter, only 100 liters, and so I could do my own beer over there and sell around here in Berlin. So that's what I'm doing for 1 year already.
And is that how? I mean, it sounds like that's the same as how you started Euro. It's just going door to door to.
Yeah, just knocking door and asking if they want to sell. There's a lot of one thing is really interesting here in Berlin. People really like to support locals, and when you put it big in a label that it's from Berlin, it's brewed in Berlin, people really are keen to try to buy and to help. So this is a really good thing. So you just go to breweries and say, hey, I would like to sell my beer here. And it's really interesting because the day I went there to the breweries, to the craft beer shops around here to sell my beer, I could see maybe 2 or 3 gypsy brewers. And a year later, I go there and I see about 8 or 9 gypsy brewers. The thing is booming here in Berlin. It's crazy.
Oh, that's a big jump. So how many brewers are there in Berlin?
So you have the big ones like Berliner Kindle, Berliner Berger, Berliner, and all the others that produce only kind of traditional beers, Helles or lager. And then you do have about, that I can count quickly, about 6 big breweries here. And then you have all 5 or 6 gypsy brewers that are all over Germany, and they all sell here in the craft beer shops around my house.
Okay. And how's the scene in Poland? Sorry, Lucas, can you hear me?
I don't think he can hear.
I don't think he can. He's just thinking away instead. So I let him drink for a minute. No, he definitely can't hear us.
Yeah. Maybe he's in a bit of delay, but anyway.
It doesn't seem to be bothering him, really, does it?
But let me make him one question it's really interesting for me here. I wanted to ask to Luca, actually, because he's from the Baltic, but how's the water in Estonia? It's okay? Because Estonia is also really close to the ocean, right?
We are not. We are in the southern part of Estonia.
Okay. So it's not a big problem for you.
Not the ocean, the Baltic Sea.
Yeah, the Baltic Sea. Sorry, that's what I want.
Our water is really good. Actually, it's a bit hard, but okay. We use tap for brewing. We treat it with salts and acids for the right balance. But otherwise, we don't have to filter it. Even it's no chlorine. It's just good water. Yeah. People drink tap water here, so. Yeah.
All right. So it's you said a quite soft water?
No, it's not. It's quite hard.
Quite hard. Okay, so you have some problems to brew New England IPAs, or it's still okay?
Yeah, New Englands are tricky. So, but we can manage with a correct salt treatment and acid treatment. But it's really good for dark beers.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Yeah,
that's maybe now our main focus. For this session, I sent only the lighter, hoppier beers because I originally understood the theme is going to be summer beers. So, 15% Imperial Stouts out this time.
So it means this is only the range of like light IPA kind of beer. You still have another range of other beers.
Yes. We have this series called Silver Series that is a barrel-aged beers. These are really popular. We are expanding our barrel project all the time. So,
and are they stouts and porters that they're popular like as a range, not even the barrel-aged ones, but like as a.
Yeah, they are, and when we export, people expect stronger, darker beers from our region, so that's what we have experienced.
Okay.
So, and we also do quite a lot of sour beers. We even do mixed fermentation and wild yeast brewing at a different facility at the neighboring cider producer. So
I was about to ask you. You do the sours in another facility, yeah? You don't.
Not the kettle sours, but the wild beers, so-called.
All right. Okay.
We are not brave enough to do it in the same building. So.
How long did it take then from like you started off home brewing? Were you doing only IPAs at home, or did you kind of like I presume doing wild beers?
I switched to. I did the fermentation. I started with plastic buckets, but and then bottled with sugar added for the natural carbonation. But with IPAs, it's really important you keg and do the counter pressure filling because of the oxygen pickup. It's not good. So I built a kegerator and right after fermentation transferred to the what they call corny kegs. Yeah, and dry hop there, and the beers were really fresh. So for IPAs, I would recommend that, not the bottle condition.
Yeah, I have changed from to when I brew at home from buckets to corny kegs as well the last 2 months, and I'm still like in trying to learn how to do the proper like carbonization under like fermenting the pressure and carbonization, everything, especially because when I go to a brewery there and I brew my beer over there, they have all the equipment, and at home I don't have much. I have to do with what I have, so it's quite tricky. But I've seen already evolution especially on aroma and flavor that you get after you open the beer. So because I used to also to post ferment inside of the bottle to carbonate, and then you feel that the aroma goes away really quick after a month. You don't have anything anymore. And then with the forced carbonation, you can open like after 2 or 3 months the bottle, and you still have the same hop aroma that you did in the beginning. It's really interesting.
It's all because of oxygen, I would say.
Yeah.
The main enemy.
And how did you start off when like you're going like Fernando says he has you had 3 recipes to start with, and presumably you started with 1 or 2 as well. But like, do you have a whole range ready to kind of just keep going?
Yes, like I told you, I brewed like 2 to 3 times per week, so like 3 new recipes per week. And I have quite a great back catalog from where to pull. So
you don't need to think anymore. You just go to the knives and pull one out.
I must say I don't homebrew anymore because it takes the same time to brew a batch of 30 actually.
So your homebrew is basically just a greater scale.
Yeah, it is. Cleaning is maybe a bit easier. Yeah, sorry.
From those beers you sent to us, which one you sell the most? Like, is the
none of these are core range, actually. So some specials and one-offs. I would say Suvi is maybe the best seller.
Which one? Suvi. Okay, I
have with the zebra on cover and there.
Yeah, the hazy. Hazy is a really topic, really hot topic at the moment. Yeah, hazies and New England, so it's selling a lot.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't export those, but for up to Europe, for some places we do. But
yeah, I feel like when I do brew my hazy IPA here, I feel like if you don't really treat well with like cold condition and transfer from the brewery to the shop in a cold condition, it really loses the flavor really quick. Not the same way you would lose in an IPA or in a pale ale, you know. So you really have to be careful with those beers.
Yeah, it's correct.
Yeah,
especially the hazies. Not as stable as the West Coast.
And they're like how. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. So, like when you started, it was all hazy. Like, were they the popular thing? Because you started, like I said, 10 years ago. So has that changed? What's the popularity?
There weren't any hazy beers then. You needed to get your beer clear. So yeah, West Coast IPAs, of course. Yeah.
Right. So you're just
a lot of bitterness, big IBUs.
Yeah.
And they weren't available in Estonia as a general rule, I suppose, 10 years ago. That's why you had to start off on your own.
Not the fresh ones, I must say. You needed to brew those yourself. You could get the old American IPAs or some Brewdog ones, but not much was available. So slowly, it's the availability of beers got a lot better. So you could have a decent IPA as well. Not from the States because of how long they travel, but from Europe. Yeah.
And in Berlin, then in Germany, like, do you have limitations? Do you have to stick to kind of there's the purity laws that?
Yeah.
So you wouldn't get away with this.
Yeah, the bigger thing is if you use lager yeast, you have to stick with the 4 elements. You can't add anything. If they happens that they come the government, or I don't know exactly what department over there, but they come to a bar, they take a sample, and then they go to the laboratory, and then if there is lager yeast on it, and if there's anything else apart from hops and water and yeast and malt, you have to pay a fine. In ale, it's not so hard. You can apply but you have to apply for a modification in your beer. So you go to the government and say, hey, I'm going to brew a batch of 3,000 or 3 hectoliters or 4 hectoliters or whatever, and I'm going to add, I don't know, mango, whatever. And then they can approve to you. It's not a big thing. But lager, you have to stick with the 4 elements only.
Okay. And can you... And that's if there's any lager yeast at all. So if you have any sort of mixed yeast culture that includes a lager yeast, you're out as well, are you?
Yeah, you should. I would not try. I would, if you want to do a mixed culture with Brettanomyces or lacto, I would perhaps use AO to not get any problems with them, with the government.
Right. One second. I think Lucas is...
But you can brew ales outside of the purity law.
You can if you apply if you go to the government and apply and pay an extra fee, then you can. But it's also not everything. They have to approve what you're going to put in the beer as well. It's a little tricky.
Okay. But how much is the fee? Is it reasonable?
I don't know how much you have to pay in fee, because I don't know if it depends on how big is the batch. I don't know. But when I'm looking for a new brewery to brew my beer at the moment, and so I went to a few places, and at this hot topic, they always tell you, oh, please, if you're going to do something apart in lager, it has to be the 4 elements. If you're going to do ale, you have to go to the government and pay a fee. And it's about, I don't know, it's per hectoliters you produce, then you pay a fee. But then you can mix a little bit inside of ale, but lager you cannot.
And how precise do you have to give them the information? Like, do you have to give them your exact recipe down to the thing, or do you just say we're going to throw some mango in there?
So I don't have the truly information about it because I so far haven't done anything mixed. But what I heard, they told me like many times is that you give the recipes to the brewery, they're gonna check, of course, if it fits the system with them, and then if there's anything apart from the 4 elements, they're gonna give you a paper, and then you go with this paper to the government and say, hey, this is what I'm gonna brew. It's 14 platos, whatever, and this is what is gonna be inside. Can I do it? And then most of the time, if it's something easy like mango or strawberry or raspberry, whatever, they say yes. But if you want to do something a bit more, or even lactose is fine. But if you want to do something a bit crazier, then you cannot. And sometimes you can even call a beer. You have to say, this is a beer with strawberry. You can't call it a strawberry beer. There's a few things you have to look after here in Germany.
Yeah, I think it was Paul from Higgins last week. He was saying he called it something like a malt-based beverage, alcoholic beverage.
Yeah, you have to change the name. Yeah, it's really weird. Yeah.
Lucas, can you hear us yet? No, he still can't hear us.
Maybe you should write up on paper. It's like, hey, Lucas, yes.
Instead of that, yeah, we can do like a hostage situation. Yeah, I don't think he's going to hear us at all. He doesn't seem to be too worried, but
yeah, I'm wondering what he's thinking.
So let's just talk. So so I mean that was an interesting beer. That this one, like I said, is very, very, like a milkshake nearly. Is there another one that you think, or maybe we should try one of Fernando's?
We can try the bigger one if you want to say.
Let's try one of Fernando's, yeah.
Yeah, the big one.
Okay. We'll move things out of the way.
So this one is one of my 5th or 6th forced carbonated beer. So hopefully it's everything all right. It's interesting because with prime sugar, I'm really good at. I already even won a few competitions with this. But forced carbonation at home, I'm still struggling with this shit, man. Sorry for that.
The carbonation seems fine.
Ah, yeah? Okay, so I'm happy with this.
And this is a New England IPA, you said?
It's like I did with Verdant IPA, the new East from Lallemand, and my idea was just to do a really simple but really aromatic IPA, and end up kind of hazy. That was not my intention. I didn't use any oats or anything like this, but end up hazy. Maybe it's the yeast that transformed. It's my first time using this yeast, actually.
Did you use the Verdant yeast? Is this?
Yeah, the Verdant IPA. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like this. The hop roulette is made with this one as well, and a couple of other hazes we do. We use this yeast, and for some beers, I prefer it to the White Labs London Fog, which is our main New England yeast. So yeah, it's a bit different, but really good.
I really like the when I want something a bit drier and cleaner. I really like the West Coast from Lallemand, especially if you do biotransformation with this. It really brings up of the flavors from the hops. It's incredible. And then I was trying to get the same thing from this Verdant IPA with biotransformation. I didn't achieve really what I wanted, but I'm quite happy with the beer.
Okay. Did you use Citra Mosaic in this one?
No, there is Idaho 7 and Simcoe, and a bit of Cascade in the base.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
How easy is it to transfer that sort of like what you've done there as a home batch to a big, to a commercial level? Like, what do you have to change, or can you just take the recipe exactly as it is, or?
Are you answering it?
Either of you, I suppose. Like when you have your homebrew and you started off, you've got it right. You've gone to a homebrew competition, you've won. How easy is it then to transfer that across into?
I would say with pale ales or IPAs, it's quite easy. it translates quite linearly, but when you start adding some adjuncts like spices or stuff like that, then it gets a lot trickier. So
I imagine.
Yeah, but I would say for regular IPA, it's quite straightforward.
Okay.
But usually in big breweries, you can reduce a lot the numbers of hop, the weights of hop, because you have even better extraction, don't you? Like in aromas and everything.
Yeah, it depends on the geometry of the kettle and the fermenting vessels, of course.
Yeah. For me there is no much problem, because when I brew here it's 100 liters. So from 20 at home to 100, or even sometimes I do double batch over there. It doesn't really matter much. So the amount the hops I use at home, usually I use there, just make it bigger.
Yeah.
But I guess when you start to work with like 10 hectares or 20 hectares, then things start to get different.
Yeah, of course, it's gonna be different. That's for sure than your homebrew beer, but you still recognize it as the original recipe. But every brewery has its own handwriting, so that comes into play as well, and water and what else. So
okay.
So it's not one-to-one translation from homebrew to the bigger batch, but yeah, it's easier for pale or pale ales or IPAs, I would say.
Yeah. Or for anything like a stout or anything like that is more difficult.
It can be, yeah. It can be, I think.
All right.
Yeah, if you're going to start a stout, Fernando, you have to be a bit more careful.
If a what?
If you're going to start brewing stouts.
Yeah, this is one area of my knowledge that I really don't know how to do yet. This is my first oatmeal stout, and it was supposed to be kind of creamier and end up quite dry, to be honest. I don't drink much dark beer. I don't like coffee in general, so I don't like when the beer tastes kind of coffee. That's why I hardly brew any coffee and dark beer.
What temperature did you mash it at?
I really think that was the problem. I mashed it around 64. And
that's too low.
Yeah. So because I put so much oats inside, about 10% of the whole thing. And when I do New England IPAs, for example, and I put a lot oats, I don't have to mash a really high temperature to get a really full body in my beer, because there's so much oats inside that doesn't matter what mash temperature you do. So I kind of try to translate the same into this oatmeal, and well, the beer is okay, but it's not full bodied as I thought it would be. You know?
Yeah, I would mash it at 68 even, or 69.
Even with that much of oats.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Maybe I do the next time something like this as well.
Try this, maybe it works.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see.
So which one are we?
Isn't that? Luca, are you hearing us or not?
I'm hearing you guys. Do you hear me?
Oh, we hear you.
Oh, yeah. He's back.
I'm just listening what you are told me about the own brews, and we are brewing a lot of dark beers, and we also mashing at 67, 68 degrees. But we also adding maltodextrin to our beers, so we are making it full-bodied.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I have with me our new coffee stout. It's 18 Plato, but it's only 5.9 ABV, so it's very low ABV with a high Plato. So that is why we are using maltodextrin to make it more full-bodied.
Okay.
And we are.
Yeah, go ahead.
And we are also adding about 100 liters of coffee per 35 hectoliters of beer. So I think it's a lot of coffee in it. So we have to make it a more full-bodied, because the liquid makes it thinner.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
And it's also like, I think, 17 or 20% of oat. So
Wow.
that is why it's full-bodied, and we also added a little bit of rye.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Complex.
With 20% of oats, you don't have problems in your filtration, in your sparging?
When we are brewing our beers in the first facility in Bytów, we don't have any problems because the vessel is very it's very narrow, and when we are adding a lot of oats, rye, or wheat, the sparging is very good. When we are brewing about 30 Plato Imperial Stout, we are making like not a double mash, but we are making 3 mashes per 1 brew. So we are making a smaller mash, adding the waters to the second vessel, to the third vessel, because we have 5 vessels in Bytów, so we can transport all the waters from different vessels, and we have a very high Plato in our waters. So I think one day we did an Imperial Stout, and we made the calculation, and before the boiling we had, I think, 38 Plato. So I think our mashing tun in Bytów is very good. So we can add a lot of oats, a lot of rye, and everything. So I sent you guys our Imperial Stout. So I think it's very thick, very chocolatey, very full-bodied. And when we are brewing our beers in Bytów, especially the Imperial Stouts, I think people are enjoying it with the full-bodied, and we don't have any problems with the mashing. Sometimes we had, because the brewing process is very hard thing to do, but after I think 60 or 70 batches of Imperial Stouts, you can imagine that we know what we are doing with all the oats, rye, and everything.
Yeah, we also double mash most of our Imperial Stouts and porters.
Yeah,
and we can go up to like 30% of dehusked, not huskless or flaked material. So
okay.
really good filtering bed on our system.
Do you add any rice husk?
We tried the buckwheat husks.
Buckwheat husk, okay.
Yeah, but found them not necessary. We got during the 5 years we brewed in our own brewery, we got like 2 or 3 times stock mash. So, and it was really like we used potatoes in one of them, so a lot of starch from that. So that's yeah. So but with rye or flaked oats or wheat, no stock mashes at all. So
interesting.
Been lucky with the system.
All right.
And what kind of oat or wheat do you use in your brewery? It's like from your like, I know.
Yeah, we use oat flakes from local grower, like 60 kilometers from our. But we use also oat malt, and this is by Simpsons. So we
I think we also use Simpson malt because I think it's the best malt to brew Imperial Stouts. And
they are our main grain provider, malt provider.
Yeah.
So.
Is Simpson from Europe as well?
Yeah, not anymore. They're from Great Britain. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm buying Simpson malts from Estonia, from Baltic Brewing.
Oh, you are.
Yeah.
That's great. I think they are the sole importers in Eastern Europe.
Yeah, that is why we are
Scandinavia as well, I guess.
Yeah.
So we are buying from them as well.
Oh.
So look at you, like you've been around for what, 10 years as well, Maltgarden? I think it's just me. I think you can't hear
maybe it is.
Luca, can you hear Brian's?
No, I don't hear him.
Maybe that's it.
Reason. Okay, well, we solved the problem.
I hear you guys very perfectly. I see you and everything, but I think I have a problem with Brian.
Okay. Not sure. Let me just. I'm going to mute myself in terms. That any better?
I hear.
Okay, I muted
You,
myself.
Luca?
I hear you, but
Okay.
Oh, Brian. Okay, cool.
Well, asking the question, so
maybe you can say what he's asking me about.
I was just wondering how long they've been around for. Like he's been around for about 10 years now as well. I think. Somebody.
Yeah.
So, look, you've been working as a brewer for 10 years already?
No. I started as a home brewer. I think it was 9 years ago. I was a beer blogger, and I started as a blogger when the Polish Revolution started, because the first brewery that brew like a craft brewery that started the movement was Pinta, and it was in 2011. And then when it started, I started with my friend a beer blog, and we started to enjoy beers, to buying a lot of foreign beers. And after 2011, everything changes in Poland, because we had a very good home brewer movement. So a lot of home brewers started to start as brewers also. And then we had in 2012 we had the first brewery, like a building called Artisan. And after that it was, you can say, everything changes, because the breweries started to open day by day, and I think right now we have 300 brewers. I think half of them is gypsy brewers, because it's a very hard thing to have your own brewery in Poland. And I think in 2016 with my friend Andrew, he's also was a home brewer, very talented home brewer. He won a lot of awards in Poland, and we said, I think we have to make our own brewery, our own brand. So in 2019, in March, Maltgarden started as a gypsy brewer, and right now it's 2.5 years after that. So we have, I think, 130 different brews. Everything is going well, and I hope I will have a very good information for you guys, and also for all the people around Europe and Poland. Maybe we will start to build our own brewery, because right now we are brewing, I think, around 4,000, 5,000 hectoliters per year. So I think getting your own brewery will be a good thing to be more focused and to have more control of the brew that you are doing, because traveling from one brewery to another brewery and to get everything under control is very hard thing to do.
Imagine.
Yeah.
So you're about the same size. We do between 3,000 to 4,000 hectoliters per year. So
yeah, right now maybe not most of it, but you can say 30% of our brew is our pils, German pils,
okay.
Hallertauer pils, and Hefeweizen. 30% is imperial stouts and barrel aged beers, and another 30% is hazy IPAs with pastry sours and another beers with fruit. So I think it's 1/3 of different brews. So right now, during the summertime, We are brewing a lot of Pilsner, a lot of Hefeweizen, and also one of our top beers is our non-alcoholic beer. So it's also a very hot thing in Poland right now to have non-alcoholic beer.
What is your technique to brewing non-alcoholic beers?
You know, we are using a yeast from Lalamand to brew.
LA01, yeah.
Yeah. And we are brewing 8.5 Plato batch, and we are fermenting it 1 hour. And after 1 hour, we are cutting everything, getting down to 1 or 2 degrees, and then we are adding fruits because we have fruit ale and also an IPA, but it's all the same. So after 14 days with 1 or 2 degrees, we are sending our beer to the lab because we have to test it to have the ABV. The last batch was 0.2 ABV, so it was you can say it was non-alcoholic. And then we are putting everything to the bottles and pasteurize it. Very good.
We're also pasteurizing. We have the same method with the same yeast, but we brew a batch of 7 Plato degrees and then ferment a bit longer. And when the final gravity has reached the desired ABV, so we cold crush it.
I asked you, you said you ferment for 1 hour.
Yeah.
But then you put dry yeast inside, and then in 1 hour you drop the temperature, or
maybe yes. After 1 hour we are dropping the temperature to 1 degrees because the yeast are starting fermentation, and you can say after 1 hour we are dropping the temperature, and after 1 day it's 1 degrees in the fermentation tank, and then you can say it's the beer is after fermentation, and in the lab you can say we have the ABV of 0.2.
But don't you have this grainy, wurty taste to this? No?
You know, after the pasteurization, it goes away. I think after 1 week. So that is why we had a problem with the IPA, because it's a very hard beer to brew, especially as a non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah.
And with the non-alcoholic IPA, we struggled to get rid of this flavor. But in non-alcoholic IPA, we don't use any dry hopping and everything. We only use
Whirlpool hops.
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't hear. What did you use?
Sorry.
What did you just said? What you use?
The hops?
Yeah, you just said right now. I interrupt you.
Whirlpool.
Whirlpool.
Yeah.
Ah, okay, Whirlpool. Okay, got it. Yeah.
We Whirlpool. We actually used the new what's this cryo like hops by Bart Haas. I can't remember the name. They are not called cryo, but something different. Well, anyway, it's like a concentrated lupulin powder.
We are using the same.
Yeah, so we Whirlpool with that, and then ferment to like 6.5 or 6 Plato, like 1 Plato down, and then we crush. But before crushing, we add the dry hops, and while it crushes, it extracts the flavor from hops. But the tricky part is that we have to pasteurize it afterwards, and you lose a lot of the hoppiness, the good aromatic oils. So it kind of makes it the bland version of the one it could have been. So yeah, that's the thing we have to work out somehow to, because you have to pasteurize the non-alcoholic. Yes.
If you finish with 6 Plato, don't you get like a really sweet beer?
With this yeast, somehow you don't. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's really interesting. Yeah.
You said it's white labels. This yeast. What is the name again?
The beer I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, the yeast. The yeast. What
the yeast? LA01.
So it's a white label.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Lallemand, yeah.
No, Lallemand. It's Lallemand.
Or was it fermented?
Lallemand.
No, it was Lallemand. Yeah.
Okay, Lallemand. I'm gonna look into it. Okay, yeah, because I tried to do some alcohol here at home like 2 or 3 times already, but I really cannot reach the flavor or it's just horrible. It's really difficult to do alcohol-free beer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you try?
The hops is named Incognito.
Incognito? No, it's not Incognito. It's
not Incognito. We are using Incognito.
I can't remember what. Lupo Max.
Lupo Max. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not Incognito. It's different. It's still pelletized, powder pelletized hops. So.
Okay.
And they are really potent. I would recommend to use them at some regular IPAs as well. It's loads of flavor.
Okay.
More than we use Mosaic in that one. Actually, it's called Joker. I sent you this as well. Did you get to try it?
Yeah. I tried it.
Yeah.
We're not completely happy with it, but it's all right. I think it was amazing before the pasteurizer. So
it destroys everything. Yeah.
But no one has to know that. So
yeah, that's this one.
Yeah, but yeah. Maybe we can try some Lucas.
Yeah. I'd suggest, but he can't hear me. So someone suggested to him there.
Yeah, let's try some of yours. Which one would you recommend?
I don't know. Maybe you can try the Imperial Stout.
Yeah, let's go for that.
Yeah,
you can bring that one with me.
This is a collaboration between Ossex Creative. It's our graphic designers that makes our all the graphic and everything, and our friends from a bottle shop in Katowice called Beerland. And this is called Where Are My Goggles? It's Imperial Stout with Arabic spices. So we added vanilla, we added cinnamon, and we added also a thing called carob in Poland. I don't know what's the English version in it. So you have all the flavors from the cinnamon, from vanilla, and the carob makes it a more like sweetness and something like maybe a toffee notes or something like that. And it's 30 Plato. And it was fermented with US 05 yeast, so with dry yeast, and and with also pasteurized. So I think it's very full-bodied, very very chocolate, very forward with the sweetness beer, and it also with lactose. I'm sorry.
Okay, I really like the body on this. It reminds me of our Imperial Stouts, and the spicing is spot on. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we are using cinnamon in powder. Vanilla, we are using normal vanilla pots. We are putting them to the fridge after we are getting the very hard vanilla beans. We are adding it to the food processor. Sticking with bourbon and vodka to make the extraction, and after that we are putting it to the still tank.
Oh, interesting. Why do you freeze them first? Because
they have to be very hard to put it to the food processor, because it will cut it more perfectly.
Okay, and we use also food processor.
Yeah,
and blend them in alcohol, so process them with alcohol.
Yeah, but maybe.
But we get it like a puree. Maybe we have a stronger processor.
Yeah, maybe so, but for us this is very good because we are brewing a lot of beers with vanilla beans.
Yeah,
and this is something that it's very good after the processing the vanilla with vodka and bourbon. The extraction is very good. So my recommendation is to food process the vanilla with alcohol and not put it the whole vanilla beans to the still tank.
No, not the whole ones. Yeah, you lose so much. They're so expensive. You're wasting.
Yeah, very expensive.
Do you have to write down on a can there is a bourbon or vodka inside? Because you extract.
No, because this is like a processed combination of
it's like you're making your own extract.
Here in Germany, if you would do something like this, you would need to write down there is 1% of vodka, whatever inside. It's crazy. That's why
it's not 1%. It's we are using, I think, maybe 4 liters of bourbon and vodka per 2 kilos of vanilla. So
no, here you could not do that. That's why I'm asking.
Actually, that's something, Fernando. If you couldn't make it in Germany that way, can you still get these beers in Germany, or is there some rule around importing?
Yeah. If you are not allowed to brew and sell you're allowed to brew but not sell in Germany, or you're allowed to bring from outside and sell in Germany, but then you have to it has to have some sort of a special sticker or something. That's why there is a BrewDog brewery here in Germany. And they brew beers, like all kind of mix of beers. But as long as you don't sell inside of Germany, it's not a problem.
Okay.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay, so so that's new to me.
Yeah.
Are stouts popular in Germany?
Well, inside of the craft beer culture, or like the community, there are only a little bit of stouts and porters being sold and produced and brewed here. But then if you go to like more a traditional town, and then you can have like dark box and stuff like this, it's more used. You can find more easily. But like truly like porter, really coffee or really strong, you don't see much here. You see one tap every 3 bars or something like this. It's not really a common thing in Germany.
Yeah, I'm always fascinated with stouts because in Ireland, like it's a third or more of all beers sold are stout, just purely because of Guinness, obviously. But it seems to be much more mainstream here than everywhere else.
No. Here is, first of all, is Helles. Yeah, everybody's proud of the Helles here in Germany. And then you can drink all kinds of IPAs. Probably everywhere else, hazy here is booming. You every 5 taps on a 8 taps bar is hazy IPAs. And then you always have your Helles in a corner. But dark beer is not a really thing here in Germany yet.
But you said it is up in Estonia that people.
Yeah, it gets dark and cold here, so.
Yeah.
It's the strongest stuff.
Yeah. So I don't know. I didn't bring on. I'm sorry, Luca. My imperial stout is still sitting over there, so I won't go and get it now. But
it's so good. I have to finish it. I can't leave the can like this.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of, because I'm a bit of a sucker for stouts and dark beers. I really do like them, so I was afraid if I open it at whatever percentage.
I could have sent you. I might do still. Just for
I suppose we won't say no.
Yeah.
But you are living in Belgium at the moment, right?
Yeah, that's right.
How is the culture in Belgium of dark beer?
They don't really have a lot, except in the doubles. That range. They have the doubles, triples. So the doubles are the dark beers, and that's pretty much it. But it's not really a stout. It's it's a dark ale. Other than that, you don't really see stouts or anything like that much around. But they're very Belgium's a weird country because like it's one of the ones that managed to keep the whole tradition, obviously, and it has loads of breweries, but they're very conservative here.
Really? Conservative in which way? They want to brew a
No,
specific way, or they only drink what comes from Belgium?
No, it's nearly all the brewers are. There's a lot of brewers who want to adapt, but like they can't. They have to produce a triple. They have to produce a blonde.
Okay.
That is what's expected, and trying to get around that. Now there's lambics as well, obviously, but outside of those, you know, that there isn't a big, say, IPA, big stout, big porter type of scene here at all. They're changing it, and a lot of the brewers the brewers are trying to change it a lot. Even just something like cans, they will not sell cans here.
Crazy.
Very few. The brewers want to change it. They want to sell cans, but there is no acceptance of it. So they're just
here in Germany as well. People are a bit like can now, you know. But if they know that the quality of the beer, it's I don't know how many percent more, but people just feel like nah. I'd rather stick to my bottle. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah, no, whereas that's changed a lot, and you know, obviously, you know, the two boys are like doing a lot in cans as well, and it's very popular in, say, Ireland, England, you know, the States now. Cans are the way to have it, but here very few.
Export in bottles if you want to export like lighter beers. Maybe they accept the stronger, darker beers in bottles, but some markets just ignore bottles. You're trying to sell them IPAs or pale ales or in bottles. So yeah, cans are a new norm, it seems.
Yeah.
And you save as well in transport, because how much weight a bottle and then how much is a can, you know? You get a bit more in a transport as well.
Yeah, definitely. And we can sell like 3 more rows of beers, of cases, because more stuff fits on the pallets. So
Yeah.
When people buy by pallets, you can sell them more beer. So it's good.
And canning lines are they're complicated, but I think they're easier, are they? Or they're more?
They're quite easy once you get the hang of it. So we have the American canning line by ABE, American Beer Equipment, and it's a duo can. So it's 2 lines. You can basically can 2 different types of beers at the same time. So they're like separate lines, but we do usually only one beer with them. Even different sizes. One can be 05, other can be 033. So yeah, but we do double the tempo with just one beer, one size of cans. So
interesting.
If you do double cans, you need like one dedicated operator on this. So yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's quite good, reliable machine. We're really happy with it. Got installed it at the beginning of summer. Before that, we used mobile canning. But yeah, I've moved a lot of our beers to cans now. The darkest stuff still is at bottles, and barrel aged beers with waxed bottles. So yeah. We'll move those 2 cans. So we keep the bottling line as well.
Okay. Yeah, bottle aged or barrel aged do seem to be kind of premium. So the waxed waxed bottles seem to. And that
Americans have waxed cans as well. They look pretty ugly. Yeah.
I haven't seen those.
Yeah.
We did a can with wax. So
can with wax. Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, I must admit, bottles, like if you're going to a restaurant or something and they bring, you order beer and they bring you, I do like to see it in a bottle rather than they bring you out a can.
Yeah.
The aesthetics in there, but at home, I don't really,
You pour it out anyway, so.
Yeah.
Just the package.
Exactly. But yeah, aesthetics, I suppose, do matter in things like, a restaurant and that. It still gives it that something little extra. But then again, if you're going to a bar, I'd rather have it on tap anyway. So.
Yeah.
So I was actually going to ask about that. Because and I'm just looking at the cans. Like the other thing about cans is you can do the complete wraparound, fancy, make them look good. Whereas a bottle, it's harder to get that label that makes it stand out.
Yeah.
And look at you. I mean, yeah, you have the kind of the branding style as well on the cans.
Yeah.
That's all this kind of swoop. You can't hear me again.
Lucas is talking about your can design. Can you tell anything specific about this?
Yes, our canning design is made by my friend Sebastian from Ostex Creative. He's doing it manually, so he's buying all the paintings and everything. When you go to our Instagram page, you can see one of the pictures how he's doing that, because he's putting the paint on the cardboard, and then he's brushing it, and after that he's putting in the graphic to the oven to make it like solid. And after that, he is transferring it to the computer, and then we have a label. So you can say each label is a unique graphic design by Sebastian. So he's like our guru for the graphic designing. He made our logo. He's making all the labels and everything. So when we are making a new beer, he's asking me about it, what it will be, what kind of style, what kind of fruits we will use, or what kind of hops we will be using. So then he is arranging all the colors, or the graphics and everything. When we are having a beer called I'm Your Barista, it's an imperial stout with coffee. He's using a different techniques. He's using a very thick pen to draw all the label designing. So everything that he's doing manually. And in 2020, he won a very prestigious award in Poland for our graphic design. So you can say a job well done.
They look nice.
Yeah,
it's really good.
How important is it?
When we started to making Maltgarden, Sebastian suggested to have this white stripe with Maltgarden to be recognized on the shelf or in the fridge. So you can see that all the cans has on the bottom Maltgarden on a white background. So I think this is something that when you go to the bottle shop or to a bar, you can see, oh, this is Maltgarden. So I think this is a very good thing to do.
Yeah, how important is the brand as well with the Euro? I mean, they have to stand out from the shelf.
Yeah, that's what we decided from the start, that there are so many beers in the world, you have to stand out somehow. They might not know your name, but you grab their imagination with the design, then they might buy it just
to try
because of the design.
Yeah, and then I suppose if you keep like some standard, and if you have your own one, then they'll look for you again. Because I was talking to a few of them, and a few other brewers, and they were saying the difficulty in getting people to buy your beer, to buy a beer more than once, maybe twice. They just won't do it. There's
so many breweries nowadays.
And everybody's looking, they want to go through their untapped collection and just take everything off. So try each beer once.
Yeah.
It must be kind of disheartening, if you're producing what you think is a really good beer as your core range, and
to brew really amazing beer is one thing, but to sell it is completely other. So.
Yeah,
you might make the best beer in the world, but if no one knows it,
Yeah, they'll only try it once because Untapped says that they have to try their next beer on the list.
Yeah.
How about you, Fernando? Are you going to, like, you have your labeling standards, like we didn't see them, but you have your standard label, do you?
Yeah, I do. The thing is, I didn't send any of my beers to you because the brewery I used to brew closed down, and I'm in process of either find a job for me in a brewery or find a brewery where I can brew my beer. But all the labels are done from my wife. She's a tattoo artist, and I have the same idea as Luca did. So all my labels in the bottom, a shame I can't have any new to show you. I always have the same ideas, always my skinny bones, and the top is always something different. But always connected with the two, like kind of old school and everything. It's a shame I don't have anything here to show you. I sold everything 2 weeks ago, and I don't have anything else at home anymore. But yeah, that's the whole idea. It's to stand out, especially in Germany. Most of the breweries stick to the old style. That is, I mean, it's not wrong. Nothing against it. Is if you want to look traditional, they are doing right. But I'm not producing a Helles or a lager, so I don't want to stick to this kind of old style of labeling, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, look. I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to bring up that we needed to cover or anything, because I've held you for an hour and 15 minutes now nearly, and I'm going to your patience, I'm sure. Is there anything that we should cover, like on the summer beers, as you said, was our original theme? It kind of got a bit lost along the way somewhere. But but what do you see, like, on summer seasonal? Do they change? Like, you definitely sell a lot more of lighter beers in the summer, and is the non-alcoholic more sold?
The ABV definitely drops in summer beers, and drinkability goes up. So I think those are the main things. And we just released the non-alcoholic ones, so well, sold it like a week now only. But it's people are interested, so yeah. Yeah, well, I'm hoping it sells pretty fine. Yeah,
well, like I remember that coming up a few weeks ago as well, that, you know, non-alcoholic beers have definitely improved compared to where they were, say, 10, 15 years ago, that people will drink them now, because they're definitely a big improvement.
And I think we're still exploring how to make a better one. It's okay, I think, but it can be done.
Right.
That's right. So.
Yeah, especially because you have to pasteurize this beer. It's kind of loses a lot of the flavor when you pasteurize a non-alcoholic beer, you know.
Maybe use fruits as well. That's a good idea, because fruits or they can take this kind of heat.
Can I ask you something? Would it be possible to pasteurize and then bring back to the dry tank and then dry hop it?
Technically yes, but you can get some stuff from the hops anyway. So.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I had some hop crips lately, so I know what you mean.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, of course, the hop enzymes on in hops as well. So, but also some contaminants. It's not impossible.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't do it. Otherwise, you might have to record the whole batch. So.
Yeah, imagine.
Better not. Yeah.
And do any of the, as I've never heard of home brewers trying to brew non-alcoholic beer, so is that anything?
I tried. It's pretty difficult. I tried to follow a recipe where you do a really low plateau. I think it was around 4 plateaus, and then you put a normal USO5 inside. But it just tastes disgusting. I don't know what I did wrong. I don't know how I did it. It was just horrible, you know. I tried, but it's complicated. It's a really difficult thing to do, I think.
Right, so it's definitely something for a brewery, not a home.
Yeah, I guess.
Fair enough. I won't try it. So not that I'm not a brewer, but I won't start with that anyway if I do take it up. I'll start with the stouts, I think. Or no, they're complicated too, aren't they? So I'll start with something simple.
May I ask, when you do the non-alcoholic one, one of the things that makes the beer not go bad is because it drops to about 4.3 of pH. But when you do something that starts at 8 plateau and then you cut down when it gets around 6 or 7, like you said, do you really achieve this 4.3 in pH, or it's not even close?
We add lactic acid.
Lactic acid. Yeah. Okay.
To bring down the pH.
Makes sense. Yeah. Okay. All right.
There's another tip for you. All right, listen, guys. I don't know. I suppose we might as well try and let you go and spend the rest of the afternoon watching the football or whatever is happening. So I appreciate you coming on. It was a fun chat. Sorry, Lucas, that you couldn't hear me, but you're probably better off. So want to thank you all. So this is the last one we're going to be doing. I'm going to be taking a break, and hopefully, if anybody's interested, we might try and do them again in September.
All right. They've
been fun to have a chat, and I think most of the brewers have enjoyed kind of just chatting to each other as well. I tried to stay out of it. So I guess we'll leave it at that, unless you have anything you particularly want to, sudden flashes of inspiration or anything.
No. That's it.
Thanks for having us, and
thank you so much
to chat with you.
Great. Listen, thanks a million for coming on. Like I said, we're going to finish up. Lucas, I'm going to say bye-bye by waving at you.
All right, Lucas.
Yeah. So I'm going to play our little video here again just to let it finish, so it kind of doesn't just cut off quickly. And I want to say, yeah, thanks.